Now we burn incense in regard to the precepts, meditation, and emancipation. May the light and fragrant cloud of this incense pervade the Dharma world. We offer this incense to the countless Buddhas of the worlds of the 10 directions. May we be able to see, hear, and partake of the fragrance of the world of tranquil extinction. Please place your hands on Hokai Jogi. Cosmic Rambuja. Toshinko. Silent meditation to prepare ourselves for chanting the old Daimoku. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming to our first official service, Sunday service of the new year. Those of you who were here for last week know that the theme of this year is study and practice, as well as focusing on the second of the six paramitas, six perfections of the Bodhisattva, which is diligence and effort. I have talked to our two senior lay leaders who have decided to take the challenge with myself that Kanji Shon put forward, which is the 100 incense chanting challenge for all of us. 100 incense stick chanting challenge. So an incense stick is about that long. We have them here at the temple. It takes about 20 minutes. And so we have all made a commitment that over the next year that we will do at least 100 incense sticks per practice. If this is, if you'd like, you can do it as Shoeizan. Do a 20-minute Shoeizan for one of your sticks. But in essence, you're committing to 100 sessions of chanting. And this is, again, not for our benefit, but for the benefit of all sentient beings, of which we will receive residual benefits. And so today's sermon is basically an encouragement for you to start practicing at home on a regular basis. This is where we put our practice into actual work in society. This is where we plant the seed of the lotus that we have that swelled here in the pure water of the temple and with the pure water of the Dharma, but it can't root yet until it could go out there and you put it into use in your everyday life, in the muck and mire of your everyday life. And remember that we're not trying to push away things. Right? You know, we feel emotions, we feel all sorts of attachments and things like that, but we're not trying to push them away in order to purify and cleanse ourselves till we're this perfect being. The understanding is that you already are perfect as you are. It's your attachment and ignorance that make you think that you're not. So what does that mean? I'm perfect as I am. I can eat that whole thing of ice cream. No, not necessarily. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that you have all the tools and capability to be, as the Buddha said, a light unto yourself, to be your own salvation. So all the tools that you need are there. All the teachings are within you. You know, once you are exposed to the Buddha Dharma and once you have access to the Lotus Sutra, it says that all of the spirits, the gods, the Buddhas, the eloquence necessary all comes to you as a practitioner. So all you have to do is practice, and it comes out of you naturally. One of the things that we focus on here in our Kyoji lineage, which is really, let's be honest, it's not all of Nichiren Shu, right? Nichiren Shu is our main lineage, but our temple is just a tiny little temple in the middle of nowhere in Biabi, Japan, right? But the thing that made our temple so special was the devoutness and the practice of the family, the Tsumoto family, that kept it going, which is our lineage. And they kept that spirit. And Kanto Tsumoto Shonen, my master's master, our habits teacher, he made a commitment as an overseas missionary to leave Japan and to spread Nichiren-style Buddhism. And he ended up in Toronto, Canada, of all places. And somehow that ended up inspiring a rather headstrong young man named Kanjin Cedarman, who became Kanjin Cedarman, to take up the mantle of Shami, and then eventually become a full minister. And then somewhere along the line, he inspired other people, myself included. We inspired others from there and there and there. But all of it comes from one central place, practice. That if we didn't have faith and practice, we didn't study on our own, how would any of you be willing to trust any of us in this practice to help you? Or how would you be able to trust yourself to help somebody else with their practice, with their life, if you don't practice yourself? So 2018 is about study and practice. So last week I discussed it. If you haven't read the Lotus Sutra, read it. We usually suggest starting at chapter 10, working your way from 10 to 28, and then 1 to 9, just simply because it jumps right into the meat and heart of it at chapter 10, the teacher of the Dharma. If you don't have a copy, Google Free Lotus Sutra PDF. It's out there. It's the threefold Lotus Sutra. It's not the Murano version that we use, but it's there. For those of you who have Kindle and maybe have gotten one of the Amazon Echo Dots or something like that, they have a thing now where it'll read you any book on your Kindle. Now, it's a bit of a wooden electronic voice, but I've had it reading the Lotus Sutra to myself and to my son while I rock it, so it's kind of interesting starting at chapter 10, Teaching of the Dharma. But it's really neat. Now you can even have the Lotus Sutra on audio. Have it there. If you haven't read the teachings and writings of Nichiren Shonin, whether it's Kanshin Honson Sho, Kaimokusho, Oranjo, Kanshin Honson Sho, please read them. They're really, really good. They're really informative. And not for nothing, you practice his style of Buddhism, so you should probably know what the man said. Otherwise, he might say something that you don't agree with, maybe. I don't know. But if you find something, come to us and ask. I find stuff all the time. Well, what does he mean by this, Sensei? Sensei, and I discuss it. We talk about it. One of the things that's really neat is that there's some amazing commentaries on Nichiren Shonin's writings, only in Japanese, that one of our Shami, Kansei, is going to be working on getting translations for us. I mean, there's some of the best ones on all of his writings. So it's really neat. And not only his writings, but also his letters, too, his Gosho, which we have over 250 letters, individual personal handwritten letters from him to practitioners, many of which were women. So this year, let's practice, let's study. Let's not be complacent. We're at a critical point in this temple where we can become these complacent practitioners who just show up on Sundays, put in our time, and then don't practice the rest of the week. Or we can become practitioners who live, eat, breathe this practice. I'm not talking to zealots or crazy people, but I mean on your own personal level, that you're able to use the practice to be of better service and benefit to other beings. The whole purpose of the practice. So this year, if you have been doing Shodaigyo, do a little bit more. If you've been doing Shodaigyo a while, start doing full service Bongyo. Come to temple for training and practice, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Sundays after service, we can totally do that. Pay attention to exactly what you see all of the lay leaders do. Our goal is that every person in this temple will become a lay leader at some point and know what to do. Ostensibly, again, my favorite saying is if I die in the middle of service, I want someone to be able to shove me out of the way and finish service. That's the most important thing. So let's practice. So today, if you don't normally chant out loud, chant out loud. Don't worry about making a mistake. Listen for the people who have been doing it a little bit longer, but don't be afraid to stand out. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Okay? Try to harmonize. Remember that when we chant Namu Renge Kyo, it's up and out. It's bright. It's not a funeral dirge. We're not here to be, these Gregorian chant masters. We're here to make this beautiful offering to the universe that is a gift for all sentient beings. We're just happy, right? This is an organic, lively form of Buddhism that's meant to be alive in the here and now. And so let's express that in the here and now. Okay, and express that with your chanting. Each time we do service, try to get a little better at something that you struggled with last time, or make a note of something that you want to work on and get with me. Okay. Please turn to page 5 for the invocation. The minister will say the invocation. Honor be to the great mandala, the perfect circle of all honorable ones revealed by our founder Nichiren Shonin. Honor be to the eternal Buddha Shakyamuni, our original teacher, the Lord of the Dharma, our great benefactor who attained enlightenment in the lotus past. Honor be to the suture of the lotus flower of the wonderful Dharma, the teaching of equality, the great wisdom, the one vehicle. Honor be to our founder, the great Bodhisattva Nichiren Shonin, dispatched by our original Buddha. Honor be to Nichiji Shonin. Honor be to Renge Ajari Nichiji Shonin, the first overseas missionary. Honor be to the protective deities of the Dharma. We honor all of you. May you come to this consecrated place out of your compassion towards us. See us with the light of your wisdom and accept our offering of chanting the sutra and Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Page 7, Kaikyo. Mujō Jinjin Myo no wa Yakusen Mango Nimo Aitate Matsuru ことがたし我今検問し、受理することを選び、願わくは如来の第一義を下船、至極の大乗を知りすべからず、千万即時など来に近づく。所詮は方針、所詮は方針、色その文字はすなわちこれ、法人なれ。無料の功徳皆教に集まれ、この量に、自在に妙に軍事、一部に罪を滅し、善を生ず、もしは真、もしは法、共に仏道、上善三世の諸仏、人人の妙念なり、諸女せせ、地流寺、頂戴戦。Page 11. 法蓮華経、法弁本来に、一生三十三枚安城に、記号者でおす小空死へ人間流用、同死へ門安寧南入、一切の門百死仏小空の地、同意者が仏道心願百千万国無修小仏金行小仏無料道有名小人名小不満上中金天二条無法利益小説理修南名シャレオス五十条無期来十十輪年十十理由公園根拠無修法弁人道修教料理小着上位者が将来法弁知見原仏大従属シャレオスの大知見古代人の流量無芸力無償意戦場芸脱三枚人流無才上流一切二条無法シャレオス将来の集中分別行政処方根治流難劣化修身シャレオス修養根治無料無縁二条無法無実上重視シャレオス空修分節調理者が無償上流第一経流難名使用理物用物内の空間上理想上理小法行税総行税小行税大行税力行税差行税行税変行税下行税法行税本末休教と小理小法行税総行税小行税大行税力行税差行税変行税変行税下行税法行税本末休教と小理小法行税小行税小行税大行税力行税差行税変行税変行税下行税法行税本末休教とTurn to page 35 in your blue booklet. 法蓮華経、往来十両、本来十六、非我特部従来、小教小公衆無料、約千万億差や装備、調整と条件、九州六州上領流を仏道未来無料法非常修上法法弁権明暗理実不滅道領重視戦法波上中央視異常人流力量
上天道修道水根に不天修天が滅道国領大天下永遠の二小活動心中道気心福七式入難一心欲見物不自釈心用自我重心相空出量重戦大理合修量上大師不滅利用弁無機合見無滅不滅量国修量不病心病者が無法に注意せず無常上等不問し三味が滅道が現象修正没座用空海幸福意見心両道小活動運動心連動内出理説法人数力行政法遊び法超大量重戦重要小重症修道健康人大化小小自家指導反問全言上十万論連衝動各集中法小言法中化経過修上小流学小天客天空調査修理学不満なら計算物流大修化道道空気霊修検証人空小空農業で出十万で商材修上医薬合因伝化早期と不問産工業小修独自は引き者相体験が信頼しに説法悪事理し修説物重無力内見部者理説物難しがし力量税交渉無料重要無修行空修道小特業等無死者法等死生義高蘭療養人仏語実無効領以前方面一応思考実在に根治無能説法も火薬異生部空小空原者理根部天道実在に根滅理条件が二小教師心法律薬教力が大悪道中華上司修上平等不平等水曜小華道一世修十法内させねいがよ修行特入無道道特上重視
Please turn to page 59. We'll chant straight through from page 59 to page 61. The Triple World, from chapter 3 of Parable. The triple world is not peaceful.
It is like the burning house. It is full of sufferings. It is dreadful. There are always the sufferings of birth, old age, disease, and death. They are like flames raging endlessly. I have already left the burning house of the triple world. I am tranquil and peaceful. control, in a power, in a forest. This triple world is my property. All living beings therein are my children. There are many sufferings in this world. Only I can save all living beings. Dispatch of monks and nuns from chapter 10. The teacher of the Dharma, I will manifest the 4 kinds of devotees. Bhikshus, bhikshunis, and men and women of pure faith, and dispatch them to him so that they may make offerings to him, and that they may lead many living beings, collecting them to hear the Dharma from him. If he is hated and threatened with sword, sticks, idle pieces, or stones, I will manifest men and dispatch them to him in order to protect him. The appearance of a stupa from chapter 11. Beholding the stupa of treasures, thereupon a loud voice of praise was heard from within the stupa of treasures. Excellent, excellent, you Shakyamuni, the world honored one, have expounded to his great multitude the sutra of the lotus flower of the wonderful Dharma, the teaching of equality, the great wisdom, the Dharma for bodhisattvas, the Dharma upheld by the Buddha. So it is, was you Shakyamuni, the world honored one, have expounded is all true.
Page 62. Devotion. The wonderful truth expounded in the Lotus Sutra, whose Odai Moku we now chant, is what the past Buddhas taught, the present Buddhas are teaching, and the future Buddhas shall teach. It is the great Dharma, true and pure, the propagation of which was transmitted primarily to Bodhisattva Jogyo by the Buddha on Mount Sacred Eagle. Once we chant Namu Myo Renge Kyo, we shall attain the right view that the 3,000 worlds exist in our minds just as they are. The pure land of tranquil light shall be made manifest in our sight, and together with all other beings we shall enjoy living in the land of truth. May the sound of our chant in the Odai Moku permeate the whole world, be offered to the 3 treasures, and be bestowed on all beings. May all beings enter the world of the one reality, the great vehicle. May the Buddha land be adorned, and all beings favored with the merits of our chant. Place your hands in Gasho. Shosho Gyo. Chant Yodai Moku Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Please remember up and out. Right. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Namu Hotoge, page 64. Icho nanji nabu sanji shagaru kanji shobu yaku nen no deshi nen shobu sho seishoku yu no seishoku shōjin seisho shitai ko shita sha soku shoku no butsudo no orai se toku shi to deishu shi nen ji butsu metsu do go no reko seisho tennin seiken shingen toku se to shu yo setsu ni sai tennin karo kudo. Please turn to page 68. Golden chain. I am a link in Lord Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends my happiness and misery. May every link in Lord Buddha's golden chain of love become bright and strong. May we all attain perfect peace. Today we remember many people, those in sickness and distress as well as those in memoriam. Today's echo. We respectfully dedicate all our merits now gathered to the great benevolent teacher, Shakyamuni the Eternal Buddha, to the supreme teaching, the Lotus Sutra, to the leader of the declining latter age of the Dharma, our founder, the great Bodhisattva Nichiren Shonin, and to the protective deities of the Dharma. May all beings under the heavens and within the four seas live in accordance with the wonderful Dharma. May the wonderful Dharma spread throughout the 10,000 years of the declining latter age of the Dharma. May we realize this world is the eternal Buddha's pure land. May peace permeate all the world and all beings enjoy peace and happiness. May all beings live in safety and live long without misfortune. May the peace and happiness last forever and all beings be prosperous. We pray that all beings awaken to the true nature of reality, which is the Buddha Dharma. May all beings of all realms be helped equally, overcome suffering, and gain the happiness of blissful liberation through the merits of following the teachings of the Lotus Sutra. We pray for the spirits of our ancestors and for all the spirits of the universe. We especially pray for those in sickness and distress. We remember all the victims of terrorism throughout the world, all the victims of fires, winds, floods, and other natural disasters throughout the world. We remember Frank Hardaway and James Conklin, Martin Hardaway and Louis Dingler. We remember the people of Puerto Rico, Stacey Perdue and Lindsay, Anita Cohen, Dan Monheim, Maureen Frame, Christy Kazmarsky, Kim Williams, Janet Williams, Richard Wyman, Misako Brainerd, Melissa Bowman, Michael Dean Ritchie, Manny Figueroa and Chavi, Aunt Bonnie Hours, Marjorie Cowers, Gail Bull, J. Anna King, Ann McAndrew, Maureen Joshin Cushman, Brutus Todd, Marissa and Renee Hardaway, Melissa and Madeline Schoaf, Dennis Sullivan, Ashley and Sean Waldron, Monica Shim, Megan Shim, and Clarence Shim. We also remember Nadine Morsch, David Normandin, Dirk Patton, Damien Reddick, Wendy Prevost, Jason Wellman, David Ignacio Spence, Michael Mahar, Richard and Lynn Bigelow, George Sullivan, and we also remember Shady McCoy, Buffalo Bills. We also remember those in memoriam who have passed. We remember Amy and Maria Valentin, CP and Augustus Kroll, Albert Rivas and Yolanda Rivas, Elaine and Joe Winter, Terry Papeland, Bill Mears Sensei, Art Sensei, Jack Parker, Kazuko Jordan, Earl Scott, Cheryl Cushman, Aunt Barbara, Wayne, Ronnie Yogetsu Sullivan, Dennis Sullivan, members of the Show family, members of the Tebow family, members of the Brzezinski family and the Benuski family, Michael Maffei, Belinda Williams. We remember Charles Bull and Helen Lawson, Dr. Peter Boehm, Maria Araujo, Donald Gregory, Tico and Josephine and Frutuso Bob, Shay, Roca, Ali, Usul, Scoop, Ming Chi, Stella Hitchcock, Rex, Beeve, and Star. Janice Goudreau, Zen Master Yokan Daiju, the Morrissey family, the Bigelow family, the Sparks and Winter family, Kroll family, the Crane family, the Cedarman Kobayashi family, Jordan family, mother of Juanita Young, Jean Knott, Deidre Hossick, Nicole O'Brien, and George Sullivan. May we purify our minds, limit our desires, learn to be content, and feel free to experience the quiet, unassuming joys of life, and learn to abandon all attachments formed in the mind. It is my personal wish today that all those in attendance and all the members of our Sanghas be it in Rochester or any of our sanghas around the world, remember that the source of their happiness is actually their practice, and that they, this year, increase their practice so that they can be of better benefit and service to all sentient beings, myself included. With this prayer, we endeavor to increase our understanding and appreciation of what others have given and contributed to us, and develop constant, mindful consideration of how our thoughts and actions will beneficially contribute to others. We also remember our abbot, Kanjin Cedarman Shonin, his master, Kanto Smoto Shonin, his master, Kansei Smoto Shonin, as well as all the shami in our lineage, Kansei, Kanjo, Kanne, myself, Kanyu, and all of the various lay leaders and members of our Sangha, and all the Sanghas around the world, as well as all those who have no one to pray for them. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Please turn to page 77 and 78. Jigu Seigan, the four great vows. Shujo Mu Segando.
Sentient beings are innumerable. I vow to save them all.
Ono Mu Shu Segandan.
Our defilements are inexhaustible. I vow to quench them all.
Homon Mu Jin Seganchi.
The Buddha's teachings are immeasurable. I vow to know them all.
Utsudo Mujo Seganjo.
The way of the Buddha is unexcelled. I vow to attain the path sublime.
With this body.
Until I attain Buddhahood, I shall hold my faith in the Lotus Sutra. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Namu Myo Renge Kyo. Namu Myo Renge Kyo.
Uso. Yuigansho. Shoshu. Benevolent ones, remember us. Be where you like and come again out of your compassion towards us. We play Grand Hokai Yoin, Cosmic Realm Mudra. We end as we began with silent meditation. This time, Jin Shingyo, silent meditation on the sublime, Dharma, and the preciousness of life. spiritual Sangha. For those of you who joined us today, thank you very much for joining us. Have a great and wonderful day. We'll have lunch and such, and then later we'll put up candles.